Now when it comes to Tyler the Creator, well, now, if you are ready to see how amid being canceled in one of the most serious ways we have ever seen in Tyler's modern career, well, after all of the backlash he has been getting and all of the conversation happening, Tyler has sent out his response, and he is really waiting for everybody to understand what he is doing here. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and now seriously, as we are seeing in real time how one of the biggest stars in rap is responding to all of the backlash that he is getting, and well, the history and past that he is being asked to stand up and speak out against. Make sure to leave those likes because this is a major moment. And so now what is going on with Tyler the Creator after everything around the conversation of him being canceled, the reaction he had to his fans' insensitivity of just the whole D'Angelo situation, and then now everything that has come as a response to that from dissing his own fan base, which has resulted in a direct exploration and, well, just digging up of all of the old things he used to say that maybe built that very fan base that he is standing on now. Well, listen, after Tyler has been getting called out from all different sides of the hip-hop world, and you know, a lot of different people have had comments on this situation and have criticized him in so many different ways. What Tyler, who is generally one of the most vocal and outspoken people, even when it comes to just posting his thoughts here and there or getting an urgent message across that he just feels like saying right away, ended up saying is something that is kind of unprecedented from him, but I think when you look at it from the perspective of Tyler, it makes sense. And so what's really going on right now is that while all this backlash is going down and so many people are calling out Tyler everywhere for his past, well, Tyler's had some bigger things that he's had to tend to that, both for his brand and his business, are defining and solidifying his place as a superstar, whether you like it or not, more than they ever could. And again, right here, I'm not telling you how to feel about Tyler, but I'm just presenting you the facts, which now what is going on, well, really stuck out and spoke volumes to me when I was watching the NBA last night. And between the Knicks getting a nice win and Victor Wembanyama showing that he may become the greatest basketball player of all time, well, ESPN has been pushing one trailer that they have made after their most criticized year in NBA media and coverage, which is trying to push their NBA broadcast as the definitive product and way to not just watch basketball, but any sport, period. And you know, between all of the highlights and all of the players, you know what was showing? Well, it was Tyler the Creator and him yelling "Stop playing with me" as the record of the same name was going over a montage of just some of the best things that you could showcase in basketball right now. And you know, when you see that and also see how "Stop Playing With Me" has become one of the official theme songs for the NFL as well and Thursday Night Football, what you start to see when you see Tyler's music being used as a mainstay and anthem to really rally and galvanize to represent the two biggest sports leagues in the world, well, all through the sound that he created from his "Don't Tap the Glass" album. Well, from that to Tyler even having his self-titled "Don't Tap the Glass" track /Tweakin' added to NBA 2K in a new update, what we are just seeing is that as a brand, Tyler's music and platform has just reached levels and spaces where, again, if you think about how this is now the theme music that is playing for the NBA or the NFL, these were one spots that Tyler was never welcomed at, and for him to just be the actual guy who has the themes for these things, it is showing, however you want to put it and however you feel, that his music has become a mainstay, not just in hip-hop and in his circles, but in the entirety of culture. And well, just in terms of the intangibles, this is what makes a real superstar. And so now I say all of this to say that when you see how Tyler's brand has just moved over the last few weeks, and you see the places he has been at, you start to see why he hasn't been so quick to vocalize any of his feelings or sentiments on anything going on right now. And that's all because, to be honest, while there are a lot of people talking about this situation and who are mad, Tyler understands that if he acknowledges this or plays into it at all, it's only going to get worse, because then he is going to create and really draw a new line that is just going to change the entire perception of how people are seeing things. And depending on how Tyler moved from there, well, it could invite something that could mess things up even more for him. And then even beyond that, once Tyler speaks about it directly now, it's just going to show all of these platforms that he's working with that, hey, maybe he's not the brand-friendly figure that he has turned himself to be really for the past 10 years or so, I would say. Which again, I'm not telling you if these things are necessarily right or wrong. You can agree or disagree with how Tyler is moving and how you feel about everything he has done and what he's being called out for. But what I am telling you right now is that as a businessman and as an artist who has reached the point he's at and who's really overcame all of the controversy and cancel culture that he already has in the past, this is how Tyler is moving because he is trying to protect himself and whoever else he may be supporting. And to be honest, even beyond what Tyler is already doing and just the response he is giving, which is clearly based off of the way that he has to move right now, well, also adding to that, Tyler has addressed these things over and over again in recent years in his music. And I think he's honestly left these things in such pivotal albums to really just remind everybody when these things happen, how he really feels and how he's not gonna do, well, what does feel like in a lot of times today, the performative thing of coming out and apologizing for something you did in the past just because people are mad, which again, I'm not telling you how to feel, but knowing how Tyler is and how people move in this era, it just seems very real that this is the protocol he is following. And I mean, I don't gotta just keep talking about it. We can look at some of Tyler's old bars which really address this situation, which if we go to 2021 and Call Me If You Get Lost, Tyler said straight up about everything, I came a long way from my past, it's obvious. I was canceled before cancel was with Twitter fingers. Protesting outside of my shows, I gave them the finger. Which, I mean, honestly, for Tyler, just shows how kind of desensitized he is to a lot of this as a whole, because again, he came up in a time where his music and his comments got him literally banned from entire countries and really did get him in a lot of trouble beyond people just having outrage online. And if we want to fast forward to Chromacopia, Tyler once again doubled down on really the same idea. As he said, pull up old tweets, pull up old t-shirts, yeah right, I moonwalk over that. And again, when you just see Tyler address his past controversies really with such confidence and just with the fact where he is saying, yeah, I said those things, but I've changed, you can see that again, while it seems like everybody is very outraged by this and there is just a lot of hate going on for Tyler right now, to be quite honest, between both how he has moved as a star and what he has on the line now, and when you really just go through his music, see how unfazed he seems to be by his past, it makes sense why we're not getting the response that maybe we thought we would have got, or maybe we would have gotten at a certain point already. Which again, if we go back to this idea of it all being in the music, to go back to Call Me If You Get Lost, or even that crazy Funk Flex freestyle he did, if you remember that. Tyler said in different times, different lines about bringing up his past and how he just doesn't hide it, and that's it. And I think what lyrics really do stand up right now are the lines Tyler had in that Funk Flex freestyle, which now, aside from the ones he said to Flex that just made him very uncomfortable, which I mean were very funny no matter how you want to put it and no matter how you feel about all this. Tyler said to his fans, looking for them tweets, find it, the cancel couch is fake and I recline it. And so from all of that to even seeing Tyler's 2021 interview with Ebro and Peter Rosenberg and seeing how he was talking about everything he did in the past there and pretty much just said, what do you want me to do from this point on? I have changed and I have grown and I'm not the man who I was back then. So for me to try and apologize like I am, it just doesn't really make sense. Well, overall, from both Tyler's silence and just the very obvious breadcrumbs that he has left in his music for us to look at in moments like this, I think it's very clear how he feels and how he is responding to this entire controversy, which virtually is just going to be to not respond at all, let everybody have their outrage, and I'm sure Tyler is going to come back out. Camp Flog Gnaw already is sold out. And when he performs, I mean, it's probably going to be crazy, and maybe he'll have a few comments here or there, but I think until then, and until there is a musical or artistic mission that he could try to push forward, well, just to both defend himself and actually express himself within the medium that he's always been best comfortable and fitted in, I don't think we're going to hear a single thing. And listen, again, while you can feel any way you want, I am just presenting to you what is going on. I think there's a lot we can really learn from this entire Tyler situation, and I think there is a lot that we need to discuss discuss, not just as rap fans, but really as music fans as a whole, because this entire thing really does just bring up a debate around superstardom, and not just the questions of if it's worth it as a whole. But you know, in this era, which is very different from the way that everything worked 10 or 15 years ago, and for the people who came up around that time, and I mean, you could look back at a lot of people who are still doing big things today and what they were saying in 2010 to 2012 and around that time window. I mean, it was very out there considered to the way that most people speak now. I think we just need to have a debate on what people's obligation should be to really stand on the things they did, and just like people are asking Tyler to, address them in any way. And I do think that there is meaningful discourse to be had about a lot of these things, and I do hope that in some way Tyler addresses these things and just puts everything into perspective, from the D'Angelo stuff to what's happening now, in just more of a meaningful and valuable light than what he has done in the past, which has kind of just been to vaguely brush it off. And I say that because I'm not asking Tyler to do the typical lame apology that so many people do, and it's obviously just the most performative and fake thing. But I do think Tyler is a person who thinks in a way that not a lot of other people do. And whatever you want to interpret from that, I do think that Tyler has the chance to create valuable discourse that really can just change the way we look at situations like this in the future, and even just understand the lines between artists and fans in a way that, again, his music would never be able to communicate, because to be honest, some things just need actual conversations and discussions to be made very clear. And so really, for Tyler, and as somebody who really has faced so many different moments of controversy and backlash over the years, and this is really no surprise to him just in terms of the totality of this all, I think on one hand, as a superstar and in an era where a lot of people are crashing out and really just losing everything, and again, we see the effects of that within the music and how the performance of it's doing, and just so many other things like that, you do have to commend Tyler at the very least for being professional, because again, and especially in hip-hop where there are not a lot of role models in terms of newer stars who actually know how to manage their careers, their platforms, and get to stages like the NBA and NFL, which, if we're really being honest, in the music industry, as the streaming numbers don't really do that well, getting your songs synced up in major spots like these that are going to be theme songs for the leagues, that has probably benefited and gave Tyler more than a lot of his single streaming songs from albums have. Well, just with that, and for actually practicing good business in an industry filled with crash outs, I do have to commend Tyler, because again, I do think it's valuable to the next generation of artists just to see how to actually get to stages and keep it there, however you may feel. But I also do hope that Tyler addresses this in some way sometime soon, because I do think that there are a lot of conversations that need to happen in general just to contextualize everything that has happened, and honestly just create a better and more understanding relationship between artists and their fans. And well, you know, for Tyler, as this whole thing was caused by a potential disconnect between them, well, something that can make all of that better. But listen, in the meantime, as this is all happening for Tyler, I think all we're going to be able to do is just wait and see how this unfolds, and we'll see if things somehow manage to get even worse for him. And so yeah, that's all I got today. Let me know your thoughts on how Tyler is responding to this, pretty much the guide and messages he has sent to tell people how he was always going to respond to this, and what do you think he should do going forward, and do you think that all the controversy is justified, or do you think people have taken this too far? Now listen, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about all this, and if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help me out a ton. And now if you want to see how right before this, well, on the other side of crashing out, Drake just embarrassed himself bad with some of the worst stuff we have ever seen from him, and this one is really a mess. You're not going to want to miss this one, so check out the suggested video.